welcome everyone to another episode of Civic Bants. I'm yours truly, Nancy Odemegu. It's a pleasure to be here once again. I don't carry important matter come on the so what we're about to discuss, you need chair to listen to it. But it's not only me that is going to, be talking about it. We have with us the head of Research and Policy Advisory at Budget Foundation, the only, one and only. Any other one is a counterfeit. In your bunk, Hussein. Hi, Ini, good afternoon.
Hello, Nancy. Good afternoon. How you doing now?
Gentle. How are you doing?
Very well.
How is the minimum wage treating you?
The minimum wage is sure everybody shaggy. We thank God for life.
All right, it's good to have you here, and that is what we want to talk about. National minimum wage is 70k enough? Nah, don't answer the question now. I'm sure that as we progress, you're going to answer the question because a few months ago, to everyone's knowledge, organized labor came out and said, okay, 30k has been on for about 5 years now, I think since April of 2019, so it's good for a change, right? They first start with about 250k, then they give us the CC's figures. There was no settlement on that. They went on strike. Nasty off the electricity we are managing. Shake everywhere, let them, they did something. But now, to cut the long story short, the Minister of Information, that is Mohammed Idris, now says that federal government and the organized labor have agreed on 70,000 naira as the new minimum wage for the Nigerian worker. Now, even Ajero, that is organized labor's Oga, he now came out now and said, okay, even though we are stopping at 70,000, but that does not mean we'll be waiting every five years before we review this thing. We are now cutting that one down now to 3 years. So without wasting much of our time. So if this minimum wage issue now, everybody has been hearing it. It's been on TV, radio, even market women self don't they hear minimum wage. So if they say, oh yeah, explain what minimum wage is to their understanding, how would you describe it?
Thank you, Nancy. So by the word minimum, when we take out from the minimum, it means say the least, basic. It means say bad as a bad. The least thing where person where they work suppose they earn, right?
For Nigeria.
Now it be minimum wage.
Okay.
And for Nigeria, you get law where government put in place. They call it the Minimum Wage Act. They've been enact this law for 2019. And for that law, they had said the minimum wage that any employer can pay somebody who is in full employment, right? Who is working full time should be 30,000 naira.
Okay.
But then they gave exceptions.
How?
There are about 5 exceptions. Say these are the class of workers or employers who are not entitled to the minimum wage. So they say people where they work on part-time basis or they work on commission basis. Say the minimum wage rule not apply to them, right? Because there's also in a week, I think it's 40 hours minimum that a worker is supposed to work for a week. So if you are working less than that, right, it means that you should not be entitled to the minimum wage. Okay. He also say for companies too, organizations where employ less than 25 people, right? The minimum wage law is not binding on you. And I believe the reason for that now because they feel say companies, organizations where they employ less than 25 people, they are small companies or small organizations.
They don't really have the strength.
So they
like
don't
that.
really get the strength.
Yes.
To pay the minimum wage. Another group of people, they say for people where they work for certain kinds of sector, like the agricultural sector, or for some other sectors where they regulated already. So like for the shipping sector, the aviation industry, also that those people too know they
inside the class of people
by the minimum wage. But that every other entity or employer of labor, we know they this class where I don't describe, they mandated by law to pay the minimum wage,
which is the list of
which
the
is
former
the least.
Yes, that any average worker in Nigeria. Okay. Now I wanted to chip in that place that you mentioned, that second clause or the third clause that you mentioned, 25. So don't you think that some organizations will now intentionally, instead of them to know, they know say they need workforce of like 30, but they will now do everything in their best capacity to reduce their number of employees to 24?
you know now, you know our way for this place. Mago dey plenty inside things. So for a number of organizations wey no wan dey binding, e get how they dey run the matter. They fit employ reach 24 store or they employ pass 24, but na 1 to 24 na im go dey their own payroll. The other ones fit be contract staff.
Oh.
And as contract staff, those ones go dey on the books of the contractor wey
not directly
so
to the company.
they dey work for those ones by the books.
Okay.
Only say the address wey they dey resume for na for this place. So you dey work for Mr. A, but you dey go resume work for Mr. B house. Na so e be.
Understandable. So now that will take us to the next one. This minimum wage now, how do you think? Okay, because they've increased it from 30k to 70k. After the drag me, I drag you, take light, no take light, we are in 70k now. So how do you think it will now impact the average Nigerian workers' standard of living? Because before 30k, we were complaining it's not enough. So do you think this 70k now will do the magic?
But we even start from the 30k. So on this 30k, a number of states, right? No, they even pay them. We'll start from there. You still get some states for this Nigeria
that are not even
paying. They pay 18,000. Now to even make it worse, you get some states wey even pay the full 18,000. They pay percent of 18,000. As I dey follow you talk now, you get people when they receive alert at the end of the month, now percentage of their salary, then they receive, right? That's on one end. On the other end, which of course say the informal sector. Right, wey comprise mainly of the nano, small, and some medium scale enterprises.
Yes.
Now them they employ the largest volume of labor, as the case may be. Those ones too, a lot of them too know they pay minimum wage. You go see person where they go work for warehouse, for instance, they resume by 6 a.m. for morning or 7 a.m. They close by 7. They pay them 15,000 naira.
Hi.
So align with the minimum wage. And government never find way to enforce them, because even government in itself, when I say government, I dey talk of government at the state level and at the local government level. Even them say they default. Some of them they default on the minimum wage. So if you were supposed to enforce and regulate, you dey default.
What do you
Which mouth you get
yes.
to now get other people to comply? So now be the problem of the minimum. Now moving into 70,000.
Yes.
Even on the basis of the 70,000, you get wetin they call nominal wage and real wage.
I don't understand that one.
I go explain them. Or explain it. Like this. This broken English done too much. Now, for nominal wage, now the 70,000 as a day.
Okay.
But then, by the time you want bring in real wage, it means that you need to factor in inflation. Now, how much be bag of rice 2 years ago?
2 years ago?
Yes.
35.28.
Okay, how much bag of rice today?
68.70. 70k, 68k.
So, on nominal terms, let's assume say they been don increase this minimum wage 2 years ago to 70,000 naira, and it still dey 70,000 naira now. Or maybe we even use the 30,000 naira, because as at 2 years ago, 30,000 naira na minimum wage.
Yes.
So on nominal terms, it still dey the same, but in real terms, this 30,000 naira as e be, e go almost fit buy you bag of rice 2 years ago.
That time.
Right? But now, half bag of rice.
Can never be.
You know, half bag of rice.
You go dey beg them.
So in real terms, even if the 30,000 naira don't remain the same, wetin that 30,000 naira fit buy, e don reduce by half. So now be the difference between the nominal and the real. And na real na we suppose dey work with, because money wey dey your pocket is only as good as wetin you fit buy. Right? So if we are looking at it in real terms, food inflation as it is, then they talk in quotes say na 40%. But I promise you, if you go market this morning, go price food.
Even yam.
You go there, after, in fact, you still fit there on the queue. The guy say, make I call supplier, see whether the price still be the same.
Yes.
He don't give you price, though. But in mind, they tell him, say,
e go don increase.
If you don't change, if you don't change, make I call. You know?
Yes.
E get one day where I go buy baby food. I dey go round, go see where e cheap. Nan milk.
Yes.
I go this place. Then see na whether it was 9,000. I go another place 9,000. I can't go the store, another store where I dey buy.
Yes.
The guy come tell me say na 6,800.
Okay. He never call supplier.
Eh?
He never call supplier.
Quick. I buy like 5. As I buy am, you don't pack am, I don't collect my goods. I can't tell am say, guy, I don't think by tomorrow this price go change. I just I pass there the next day. I can say how far that market. He say wetin I do no good. You know.
Yes.
So,
Oh boy.
That's the effect of inflation on wages. So if you are looking at it in real terms,
Yes.
right? E go shock you say wetin 30,000 naira fit buy last year. This 70,000 naira wey we dey even propose na if you no fit buy am.
Don double.
Because the prices of some things don even triple.
So basically, it will not have any impact on the standard of living.
And
Give
if
or take.
e go help you breathe small.
Just a little.
Just tiny breathe.
You never even breathe in finish. You don't come out.
Breathe, because a lot of Nigerians dey survive on the grace of God.
Aye.
If na by the wetin dem dey earn, a lot of us for don die.
Will not survive. Okay, so now the agreement now includes a review of the minimum wage every 3 years, but before it was 5 years.
Yes.
And even that 5 years was a problem in the sense that by the time Labour comes to suggest let's review, the government will drag, they will have to go on strike, before it comes. Sir, they go dey drag. Now they have now said, okay, this 70K, we are agreeing on it on a clause that it will be reviewed every 3 years. Now, do you think that is feasible considering Nigeria's economic volatility?
Well, they will amend the law, the Minimum Wage Act.
So to reflect these 3 years first.
But I need to also inform you that Labour is not the only entity, right, sitting with government to decide minimum wage. There's a tripartite committee that involves the private sector, whether it's through Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, whether it's through the Chambers of Commerce, different entities like that where they pay salaries. Now all of them will come agree to say, okay, now wetin we fit pay be this, so right? Not carry am go, not use government measure us, because e get wetin government fit dey enjoy, wey we no dey enjoy, we dey suffer. So we need to be careful, right, around how we increase wage. And mind you, wages dey also impact inflation. So now, as market women here say government don increase minimum wage to 70,000, for their mind, they go feel say people now fit afford this thing. So the market dey always react to price increases. Now where the wahala come dey na say, if you now wey you dey work for federal government, they increase your own to 70. Me where I be nanny or I be cleaner for person house, or I be security,
yes,
I still dey collect my 15-20K.
Yes.
E dey there.
But
now,
the market
they
has
don't increase
increased.
Market price.
Yeah.
And now me and you they go that market. Not me kill you, don't kill me. So.
Don't kill me. So let me just ask you the big question that is on my mind. With this minimum wage increase and our Nigeria budget, with all the many budgets that's flying this 2024, I don't want to just talk. Do you think the government can finance this wage increase?
So when you say government, I would like to divide them into the 3 tiers, right? Federal government, state government, local government. The federal government, of course, they receive a lion's share
of the
cake.
Yes.
If they cut a lot of the waste, if they are able to mobilize revenues, increase oil production to get oil revenue, and mop up revenue for a couple of places, maybe they will be able to pay. Now, mind you, say in all of this conversation, now minimum wage where we dey talk about. But in the civil service, minimum wage now level 1, step 1.
The first step of payment, the first level.
Now, on level 1, there are 15 steps. So on each of those, as you they move from one step to the other,
yes,
your money they increase. Small,
but you still dey level 1.
You still dey level 1, but your salary they increase small,
yes,
small. Now you now get level 1 to level 17. That level 17 now get 9 steps. So if government they increase minimum wage, it will increase them across all the
levels
and steps. Now why we been dey expect say as government they get this minimum wage conversation, they will come out and say this na the number of people wey we get within the civil service.
Yes.
Now this number of people na im dey level 1 step 1. Like that, all the steps and level.
Yes.
This na wetin dem dey earn. If we increase minimum wage by 120, 30, 40%, and want to apply that increase uniformly across board.
Yes.
See wetin our wage bill go increase by. Then we could sit down and discuss. This is now wetin we get. Now wetin we dey expect as revenue wey dey come in. We now prefer say we go use all this money pay salaries. It means say we no go build new schools, we no go build new roads.
Yes.
We no go, all of those capital projects wey dey impact the lives of people. But if I come down to the state governments, a lot of the states or a couple of them have said they are willing to pay whatever the federal government agrees with labor. Mm-hmm. So if the states have said they are willing to pay, it connotes that they have the capacity to pay.
Yes.
Who am I now, a staff of budget, to now say that the states do not have the capacity to pay, when the people who run governments say they have the capacity to pay? And there's a local, parlance on the street. They say that you cannot cry more than the bereaved. 1, 2, nothing concern Agbero with overload. You don't have to collect
money.
Egunje, So that's just what it is. So if the states have said they can pay, I look forward to them, paying these very hardworking workers, the living wages that they do desire and deserve.
Right. So, winding down on the conversation now, minimum wage, future discussions. What are those things you would like to see on conversations and policies regarding minimum wage in Nigeria?
So, we cannot have a very holistic minimum wage conversation without bringing in productivity. As it is, the country's productivity is very low. Output per capita is very low. For the population we have, we should be doing 2-3 times our current outputs. Okay. But if you even look at the civil service, public sector, at the local government level, at the state level, there's a lot of redundant labor. There are people who are just on payroll of government and they contribute very little in terms of outputs, with regards to government. In fact, some people go to work once a week, twice a week. Some people don't even go at all. Oh. But they receive salaries at the end of the month. They receive allowances at the end of the month. I know that one of the major issues why some states started paying a percentage of salaries is because when they looked at their wage bill and the number of persons, within the civil service, they wanted to trim it, right? Look for where labor was redundant, deployed them to other sectors of the economy, whether it's agriculture, services. But labor in those states kicked against that to say you cannot retrench people. You must retain those people and then pay them. But then we cannot really have, like I said earlier, very, very, very constructive conversations around living wages, as the case may be, without talking about productivity and how these workers contribute to, overall output or GDP, as the case may be. If people are not productive in civil service, they have to be deployed to other sectors. They have to look for, work in other sectors where they can be more productive, earn better wages, and contribute more to the growth of the economy.
Wow, thank you very much. It's been a very interesting conversation. Now, before I let you go, I want to make you just give us shout outs. Let me say this our civic banter, say something. Just give us special shout out from us saying your bongo saying. Just give us freestyle shout out, Sha.
Who are they? So you get one skit where I watch. They tell the girl, say, make she give shout out to her parents. She just graduated. So the guy say, okay, give her 1, 2, 3, go. And say, okay, give a shout out to your parents. Say,
yeah, we can.
So I don't give my shout out.
Now really shout out. All right, thank you so much. It's been interesting having you. That was Inia Bongusen, the head of research and policy advisory at Budget Foundation. There's nobody that can explain more than Ini, and that is why we brought him here. So keep up with us on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's at Budget NG. We'll be tell us, you get one time where budgets bring one infographics like that of 100k, 150k. Are we expecting anything now regarding the 70k own?
Oh yes. We go do the modeling to show Nigerians what it would look like
across those
levels the different levels and steps
that you mentioned.
We've been do for the 62,000 naira.
Yes.
But we just adjust it to 70,000 naira.
Right.
But what would have been best is if we had a sense of what, for any model state, the number of workers they had, across those levels and steps.
Yes.
So that we're able to tell by what percentage their personnel costs would increase, and then extrapolate, for all the other states. That's we go use and just show the picture of all the states.
Okay.
How the increase in minimum wage will affect their personnel cost.
Okay. All right, thank you. So keep an eye out for that one. We're expecting an infographics from them. But it's been good having you so far. Thank you so much. Do you have any 2 cents to Kobo that you want to just give us?
Just to say, very pleased to be interviewed by the most delectable pidgin English presenter.
Keep it cool. Keep it cool.
Well, it's good to be here.
Thank you so much for granting us your audience. All right, it's been Civic Band so far. Follow us. It's all over YouTube. It's on Apple. So please listen to our previous episodes and turn on your notification for social media. My name is Nancy Odimegu, and until the next episode, bye for now.